A dramatic escalation across the Middle East has intensified fears of a wider regional war as coordinated strikes increasingly target energy infrastructure, commercial shipping routes, and major population centers. In northern Iraq, a powerful drone strike triggered a massive fire at an oil storage facility in the Kurdistan region, sending towering plumes of black smoke into the sky. The attack hit warehouses along the Erbil-Mosul road, where multiple drones reportedly struck the same site within hours, igniting vast quantities of highly flammable oil products and causing widespread destruction. Emergency teams rushed to contain the blaze, but officials acknowledged that the fire spread rapidly due to the nature of the stored materials. Reports indicate that repeated strikes targeted the facility, complicating firefighting efforts and leaving large sections of the site completely destroyed. This attack reflects a broader pattern unfolding across the region. Oil depots, refineries, and energy hubs have increasingly become targets in the ongoing conflict, with analysts warning that such strikes are designed not only to inflict local damage, but also to disrupt global energy supplies. In recent weeks, multiple incidents involving drones and missiles have hit similar facilities across Iraq and the Gulf, highlighting a strategic shift toward economic and infrastructure warfare. The Kurdistan region itself has faced an unprecedented wave of attacks. Since the conflict intensified, hundreds of drones and missiles have targeted northern Iraq, including military bases, airports, and oil fields, demonstrating the scale and persistence of the campaign. At the same time, tensions in the Persian Gulf have escalated further after a missile strike targeted a commercial oil tanker near Qatar's waters. According to officials, multiple projectiles were launched toward the region, with air defenses intercepting some of them. However, at least one missile struck a tanker, causing structural damage above the waterline. Despite the impact, authorities confirmed that there were no casualties and no immediate environmental damage. The strike occurred near a critical energy hub, raising alarm among global markets and maritime authorities. Recent incidents across the Gulf have already heightened fears over the safety of shipping routes as attacks on tankers and ports become more frequent. The targeting of maritime assets marks a dangerous escalation. The Gulf region, particularly the Strait of Hormuz, is one of the most vital corridors for global energy trade, with nearly 20% of the world's oil supply passing through it.
Any sustained disruption poses immediate risks to global markets, driving up fuel prices and threatening supply chains worldwide. Meanwhile, the conflict has expanded into central Israel, where a ballistic missile strike caused multiple explosions across urban areas. According to military assessments, the missile carried a cluster-type warhead, dispersing submunitions over a wide area and creating multiple points of impact.
Emergency services responded to several affected locations, including residential neighborhoods and major city streets. Vehicles were set ablaze and infrastructure sustained visible damage. Several people were reported injured, primarily due to blast effects and debris from the scattered submunitions. Footage from the scene showed dense smoke rising above the affected areas, with emergency responders working to secure the sites and assist civilians. The use of cluster-style munitions significantly increases the complexity of response operations, as unexploded bomblets can remain hazardous long after the initial strike. This latest attack highlights the growing sophistication and reach of missile capabilities being deployed in the region. In recent weeks, coordinated waves of drones and ballistic missiles have struck multiple countries, demonstrating both scale and precision in targeting key locations. As military tensions rise, political developments in Washington have introduced new uncertainty into the situation. U.S. President Donald Trump has signaled a potential shift in strategy, suggesting he may be willing to end the military campaign against Iran under certain conditions. According to multiple reports, Trump has indicated that weakening Iran's military capabilities, particularly its Navy and missile systems, could be sufficient to justify winding down operations. This marks a notable change from earlier positions that emphasized securing critical trade routes, especially the Strait of Hormuz. The possibility of ending the campaign without reopening the strait has sparked concern among analysts and policymakers. The waterway remains a crucial choke point for global oil shipments, and its continued disruption has already led to significant economic consequences, including rising energy prices and supply shortages. At the same time, conflicting signals continue to emerge from U.S. military movements. While discussions of de-escalation persist, the United States has expanded its presence in the region, deploying additional naval assets, airborne units, and expeditionary forces. These deployments suggest that preparations for prolonged operations remain underway, even as diplomatic messaging points toward a possible endgame. During a recent briefing, a senior official addressed speculation about potential ground operations. The president has been asked about boots on the ground or alleged ground operations various times. He's obviously declined to rule them out. The official underscored that maintaining flexibility is central to military planning. It's the Pentagon's job to provide maximum optionality to the president. That does not mean he's made a decision. These remarks reflect a broader strategy of ambiguity, keeping both allies and adversaries uncertain about the next phase of the conflict. Across the region, the cumulative impact of these developments is becoming increasingly evident. From Iraq to the Gulf and into Israel, the conflict is no longer confined to isolated incidents. Instead, it has evolved into a multi-front confrontation affecting infrastructure, civilian populations, and global economic stability. Energy markets have reacted sharply. Oil prices have surged in response to both direct disruptions and the perceived risk of further escalation. Attacks on refineries, storage facilities, and shipping routes have amplified concerns about supply shortages, while insurance costs for maritime transport have risen significantly. Industries dependent on energy inputs are beginning to feel the pressure. From manufacturing to agriculture, rising costs are being passed down supply chains, affecting economies far beyond the Middle East. Reports indicate that disruptions are already impacting key sectors, including fertilizer production and industrial gas supply. At the same time, diplomatic efforts to contain the crisis continue, though progress remains limited. Calls for restraint have been issued by multiple countries, but ongoing strikes and counterstrikes have made it difficult to establish conditions for meaningful negotiations. Recent reports suggest that discussions around a potential ceasefire may be taking place, but official confirmations remain unclear. Claims that Iran has sought negotiations have not been independently verified, and positions on both sides remain deeply entrenched. As the situation continues to evolve, the scale of the conflict is becoming increasingly apparent. Drone and missile attacks have expanded across multiple countries, including Iraq, Gulf states, and Israel, transforming what was once a localized confrontation into a region-wide crisis. The targeting of energy infrastructure in particular has elevated the stakes. By striking oil depots, tankers, and refineries, the conflict now directly affects global economic stability, making it a matter of international concern rather than a purely regional issue. What emerges is a picture of a rapidly shifting geopolitical landscape, one where military actions, economic consequences, and political decisions are deeply interconnected. The coming weeks are likely to be critical. With continued strikes, shifting strategies, and mounting global pressure, the trajectory of the conflict remains uncertain. What is clear, however, is that the risks have never been higher and the consequences are no longer confined to the battlefield.